Each empath has his or her own points of overwhelm, and you will discover yours in time if you haven't already. So what are the signs that you're overwhelmed? Empath overwhelm affects everyone differently, some much worse than others, at different stages of life. It causes lethargy, apathy, mood swings, and can trigger thoughts that keep you awake at night and dark emotions that reduce your love of life. There are several signs of overwhelm and tips I found while researching this topic that I want to share in hopes that it will help with recognizing when you're overwhelmed and ways to cope with it. Sign number 1, chronic fatigue. Taking on the energies of others is exhausting work, especially when those emotions are of low vibrations such as grief, anxiety, fear, or anger. These energies create quiet distress within the body that will, in time, exhaust the person, even when they don't realize it. That is, until you can't seem to keep your eyes open. If you find yourself dragging physically, chances are you have internalized too much of what surrounds you and it's time to declutter. Sign number 2, self-medication. When an empath has taken on too heavy a dose of lower vibration emotions, he or she will begin to mirror and embody these emotions, often resulting in bouts of depression or anxiety. In these cases, an empath may turn to self-medication, such as binging on alcohol, food, or another substance, as a means to regulate their internal landscape. They often aren't aware of why they're reaching for a numbing or mood-enhancing substance. They just know they want to go back to feeling their usual self. Sign number 3. Sudden shift in mood. If you have suddenly turned into a weighted boulder of sadness and lethargy, then there's a good chance that the emotions of others have morphed into overwhelm. Again, empaths will often mirror the emotional state of the ones they're energetically attached to, which can be fine in moments, but when it turns into a chronic display, it's a clear sign that it has become too much and it's time to step away. Sign number 4, skin issues. The body will often display what is occurring on the inside and chart it out like a map on our body. Our skin is especially susceptible to this and will light up like a Christmas tree if left unchecked. Sudden rashes, breakouts, hives, and other skin anomalies are the most common signals that our bodies have become overstressed due to harboring too many negative emotions. If you spot a significant shift on the outside, it's time to scan the inside. Sign number 5, panic attacks. For those that are hypersensitive, panic attacks or panic disorder is an unfortunate but common bedfellow. Being in tune with others while also being hyper in tune with self can create a vortex of emotions that can easily snowball into panic attacks. The more out of alignment the empath is, the worse they will be affected by overwhelm and the longer it will last. The difficult thing about being an empath is that you can't turn it off. Some days, that's fine. We feel strong and we can roll with it. When you're well-centered and emotionally strong, when your energy is high and you're feeling great, then it's easy to cope with difficult situations, troubled relationships, or needy people. Things roll off you. You don't take life personally. You don't let anything get under your skin. But sometimes, as empaths, our energetic skin becomes so thin that everything affects us. Maybe we haven't had enough sleep. Perhaps we've had a shock or upset, or we've reached sensory overload. When that happens, we need to set boundaries and practice self-care. Here are a few tips. Recognize your emotional limits. Recognize the boundaries you have set for yourself. They are there whether you recognize them or not. And if you feel yourself going beyond these limits to a point of being overwhelmed, pull back and detach. Learning to detach, not completely emotionally disassociate, is a key coping skill for any empath or HSP. Learn relaxation methods such as yoga, meditation, and visualization. They can come in handy to relieve the buildup of stress and anxiety. Never feel ashamed to spend time alone when you need it. Spending time with animals or a walk in nature where there are no chaotic and complex emotional states flowing at you all at once has the power to soothe you. Don't be afraid to consult a therapist. If you feel like you have reached the breaking point, therapy and medications are not signs of weaknesses. They can enable coping, healing, and growth. If there are certain personality types that overwhelm you, to which you cannot avoid association with because of family association, work relation, or social obligations, try to spend as little time with this person as you can. Small doses of this type of person are easier to cope with than long periods. Don't watch the news on television or news clips on YouTube, Facebook, or social media. Don't listen to it on the radio. When you're already fragile, any kind of trauma can put you over the edge. Avoid movies or television that portrays violence, aggression, struggle, or pain. You're an open wound. You'll take this in too and feel and process it as though it is your own. Turn it all off. Don't go there. Don't answer the phone. If the thought of talking to that person makes you feel uneasy, or if you feel you need to force yourself to pick up, then don't do it. Don't put yourself in that position while you're vulnerable. Speak to them when your boundaries are strong again. Now it will make things worse. You know it, so don't do it. If you feel yourself completely pulling away from others to the point of actually choosing to be alone for a majority of time, take small steps to reintegrate yourself. There are online resources that are available to help support you and help you begin to cope with what is happening. Try an online community like a Facebook group, for example, for indirect peer support from people who know what is happening to you. Rest, read a book, watch a gentle movie, spend time lying on the bed or sitting in the sun, cuddle loved ones and pets, take naps often, lavender essential oil on your temples, back of the neck, and soles of the feet, sip warm tea or eat simple warm foods. Let go of plans and commitments for a few days if you can. Empty or reschedule your calendar. Simplify everything. You need space and time for this energy to clear and to become strong again. Ground yourself. Crystals are fabulous for this, and one of the best is black tourmaline. Take Epsom salt baths. This gets magnesium into our central nervous system fast, and it soothes our bodies. Singing. This may not be something you want to do when feeling low, but it is excellent for lifting the mood. Sound affects you on many levels, and singing raises your vibration and can stop emotional overwhelm in its tracks. Anyone can sing, hum, or chant, even whistling works. Just make sure the song that you choose is uplifting and not one that stokes up painful emotional memories. Try it and see. Remember, don't feel bad for being an empath or a highly sensitive person. Instead, learn to manage yourself and your sensitivity. Be kind to yourself.